Hello and welcome to NASCAR Heat 5, how to drive the Indianapolis Road Course. I am the Crazy M80. This is a second video here on the Indianapolis Road Course here. This will be the clean lap version. If you want to see simply the fastest way to get on this track that involves frankly a lot of cheating and corner cutting, I do have another video on that along with the setup that goes with it. But this video will be how to run a good clean lap. So if you want to have a good time with some other good racers without corner cutting, without cheating around and that kind of thing, feel free to watch this video, and I have a setup going along with it. The idea being to run mid 1:21 second lap times. It seems that the corner cutting can get you anywhere between half to even 7 to 8 tenths of a second per corner that you cut. Again, that's a different video. But for now, let's go ahead and start here on how to drive NASCAR Heat 5, the Indianapolis Roval. Starting in here, so that way when we come around to complete this lap, we can just go right on into some good fast laps here on the throttle, trying to set a good fast lap. If you like some more videos, check out what I have. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I do have also a course guide on Watkins Glen, along with a good setup there. I have a setup and tuning guide for the Roval at Charlotte, and so some really cool stuff there. Also, play Gran Turismo every so often. You can see the leagues that I run here on NASCAR Heat 5. So again, please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below on anything racing related, and I'll be more than happy to respond and give you some more content. So in the meanwhile, as we're coming through here, I'll start here with the turn-in. The turn-in point that I use, turn-in being where you start to turn the wheel from being in a straight line to enter your corner, is right about in the nose, is crossing this white line here on the oval part of the track. I'm going to switch to some different views so you can kind of see some things along the way. I personally use the in-car camera, but I'll switch views here at some of the key braking and turn-in points. I usually like to try to have my right side tires just touch the corner of the grass. Come out, I try to be about 1/3 of the way across the track. If you go too far to the left, you really have to hit the brakes hard going through this next left-hander, which kills the entire front straightaway. So try to stay to the right-hand side of the track, get over to here to the right-hand side, and out the left window, I am looking for the berm of that left-hand corner. And that is usually where I'll stab the brake, or kind of squeeze the brake, I should say, for maybe a half a second, 3/4 of a second, let off it and let the front end grip, and I let the car roll through here. Try to keep it again about 1/3 of the way from the right hand side of the track now. Don't go all the way out. Let's try to keep about halfway in the middle of the track here and gently bring it down towards the berm on the inside. As I'm coming through here, I shift into third with my setup, and I am rolling into the throttle when I do it. That is so I can keep it nice and tight to the inside here. My goal is I actually want to try to almost think I'm going to hit this pit wall. If I almost think that I'm going to hit that pit wall, then that means that I am coming off the corner in the right spot. The reason why I'm aiming for that is because it is the easiest transition to come back onto the oval. It upsets the car the least. It's the shortest distance, and as long as you're able to maintain full throttle coming through there, pretty much from the center of that long right-hander on out, it is the fastest way around. You can be flat out further up the track, but I found that when you hit that transition from the infield to the oval, it really upsets the car coming onto the longest straightaway. So that being the most important corner back there, you want to make sure that you hit this right. And you know you're on a good lap usually, or when you come off that corner right when you're hitting about 160 miles an hour plus across the start-finish line. So here we are barreling down the front stretch, albeit backwards, of the Brickyard, the famous historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I am now looking for my first braking point though here going into turn 1. What I'm looking for is on the inside pit wall. I can look for, I'm looking at that catch fence. As soon as the very end of the catch fence on the right hand side passes my left window brace, that is when I start to do what's called threshold braking. Quick Cliff Notes version on threshold braking is you gradually, although incrementally harder, get on the brake pedal. So this is the best way to transfer weight from the rear of the vehicle to the front of the vehicle while braking without locking up the brakes. It's the most effective way of braking. So again, you gradually get on the brakes, but incrementally harder. So it may take you, let's say, a half a second to go from 0% braking to 50%, but only take you a quarter of a second to go from 50% brake to 100% brake. So again, some different views here so you can see the braking zone. A good marker would be to use the yellow line over here at the pit exit. You know, so kind of when you get close to that, that's I think a very good way to kind of judge where you're at. Otherwise, there's the depending on how far of a camera angle out you have, there's the single tier flag, or not flag stand, grandstands on the left hand side. See a beautiful turnout here of people just to watch the RPM number 43 Petty Blue test car today. Anyway, so coming through here, again, threshold braking, your 100% brake. As soon as you start to your turn in is when you start to roll off the brake pedal. So basically, whatever percent you are on the brake, you are the opposite on the steering. So if you're at 100% brake, you're at 0% steering. As soon as you start to turn in, when you're at 25% steering, you're at 75% brake. If you are at 50% steering, you're at 50% brake. If the car is sliding to the front or pushing or understeering, that usually means that you're on the brakes too much still. Actually let off the brakes. You'll find that when you let off the brakes, especially when proper threshold braking is done, you'll allow the front end to really grip. All the weight's at the front. It's going to allow those front tires to grip and turn in really well. So you mid-apex this right-hander, setting up this left-hander, really use this berm up. I mean, just go over, have the left side tires almost touching the grass as you come through here. But the opposite on this corner. The berm really upsets the car coming through this right-hander. Keep the right side tires right along the white line without touching that berm. With the setup I use, I am just hitting the rev limiter coming through here. As soon as I touch the rev limiter, I roll off the throttle and try to let the car come through here. Sometimes I have to settle the brake, touch the brake just to kind of settle the nose. Depends on kind of the tire wear and how well I did through turns 1 and 2. The idea being, though, I'm going to try to actually keep to the inside here on this right-hander, because being on the inside of this right-hander coming through here, keeping it over towards the right-hand side of the track, sets me up for this little left-right chicane really nicely. If you're too far over to the left-hand side of the track, you'll have to hit the brakes in order to avoid cutting through this corner. That's a different video. But so coming here, kind of left side tires can just touch the grass over here. Right side tires go ahead and come across and hit the berm here, and you can be flat out through there. If you're too far over to the left coming out of that right-hander way back there, you'll have to be on the brakes in order to even make this chicane. But you can be flat out through there if you stay to the right. And then as you come out on here, left side tires can just be on this white line as you're coming back off that corner. So now we're going head down the back stretch here, under the bridge. Go back to my view that I prefer. I am looking for this motor coach here on the right-hand side. This motor coach, what I do basically, as soon as the motor coach is just about to go out of view of the windshield, is when I start to threshold brake. Again, slowly or gradually but incrementally harder to get on the brake pedal. Some other camera views here so you can see where you're at. There's this big white hospitality tent on the right, another one on the left you can use, the yellow one right there. You can even try to almost do a countdown after you go into the bridge, probably count like 1/1000 or something like that. It's probably not a bad way to try it, as long as you're consistent going through that chicane. Anyway, so here we are, and then we do that threshold braking. So I go back to my view here. Threshold braking, off the brake, the front end. As soon as you're off the brake, that front end's going to grip coming through here. Try to stay about halfway across the track. Don't go all the way out to the right, because if you go too far out, it's going to mess you up for this corner. So this whole section of the track, that left-hander, this right-hander, followed by the next left-right, very rhythm-oriented. You're off the brake, on the throttle, turning. Don't do anything too crazy. If you're you want to just be squeezing the brake, you want to be squeezing the throttle as you're going through here, gently moving the car. Where it's really important is right here, is in the center of this right-hander, is a very big dip. If you're transferring too much weight on the car, whether that be you're on the brakes and you got the nose coming down, or you're on the gas, or turning too hard to the right. The center of this corner, this bump is really going to throw you. So try to be doing as little as possible going through this right-hander. Nice and easy rolling through here. Again, when you're going on the throttle, just squeeze it. Don't be jabbing it. Nice and easy squeezes on the throttle, squeezes on the brake. And now coming through this right-hander, I actually found it better to try to keep up your center speed almost mid to late apex that corner. Mid-late, not late, but mid-late. That helps actually keep the speed up through the center of that corner and actually makes exit speed on this a lot faster. It might feel better to try to keep it nice and tight and try to keep it down on the bottom as you come off this corner, but I find that it actually scrubs too much speed, and you have a lower exit speed coming through this corner. So now here we are coming off the infield section back onto the famous part of the Brickyard Oval in between turns 1 and 2 of the oval. My braking point here is more of a timing thing than a placement thing. Almost as soon as I get all 4 tires onto the darker part of the pavement, you'll see over there, there's a seam, there's a lighter pavement versus a darker pavement on the high side. That's when I'm getting on the brake. Again, threshold braking. Don't be all the way quite up against the wall, but pretty close. Again, you'll almost be straight on here, arc it down towards the right-hand side. When you do it well, it won't even feel like you have the wheel straight at all going through that section. We'll hopefully be able to illustrate that here coming through. But again, be about 1/3 of the way across the track. Try to set yourself up really nicely for this corner, because this is the last hard braking point before you get onto the straightaway. So second, we're going to roll on the throttle, and let's try a few hot laps here, see what we can accomplish. Again, the goal being to run about a mid-121. Looking on the right-hand side, threshold braking here as we get to that catch fence, roll off the brakes. So you see, as soon as I got off the brakes there, it allowed the front end to just grip and go. Right side tires on the white line, then hit the rev limiter here. Just roll off of it. Ooh, the back end wanted to slide around a little bit. That's okay, because that'll help keep from the inside here. Shift here again, flat out. Oh, that was all right. As we're coming here under the bridge, I'm looking for that motor coach right here, threshold braking. Off the brakes, you see the nose just grips as soon as I let off the brake there. Again, ginger through here. So yeah, I almost even fell into that trap there too, right? Car really got really upset. Luckily it wasn't too bad, but still got really upset. Right side tires on the berm here, coming up onto that seam. Oh boy. Just got a little too loose there here. So this, that wasn't the greatest last couple of corners here, but not terrible. Roll on the throttle as I shift from second and third, try to keep it right here. That was a good exit. Again, 160 miles an hour. If you're hitting 160 at the start-finish line, that's pretty darn good. Let's see how I do without talking, and maybe we can run some faster laps here if I just keep my mouth shut. Oh boy. That was good-ish. $121.9, almost. We can get a little more out of her, I think. Oh boy. overcooked that a little bit there. I just stay on the binders a little bit longer. That's how to take that chicane, for those taking notes. See if we can get one more lap here. Ah, actually, that was pretty good. Now let's see if I can do it again without blowing turn one here.
You're almost out of gas. You're almost out of gas.
Okay, I think that second to last one is going to be the best one here, but this one's not going to be bad. Alright, now I think we're going to have enough gas to finish off this section here, so we'll go ahead and bring this one to a close, and let's take a look at that setup. Again, my goal is to run a mid 121, and I think we did that here, so again, if you want to see another faster lap, I have run a 1:19.5 before, which at the time of this recording is on the top 10 fastest of all time. But again, very well cheating. I mean, just watch the video. It's ridiculous how much this track allows you to cut the corners. So again, this is a good clean lap here. I keep it as my race setup because it drives different than the cheating lap. Pretty straightforward here. You'll see most of the stuff here. Since the most important corners on the track are right-handers, I actually have more right side weight to help in those corners. You'll see the wedge is also set accordingly to help kind of make it a little tighter in those right-hand corners, so it's not quite 50-50 left to right. Spring setup usually is. Camber is also a little different, again, to help with the right-hand corners versus left-hand corners, especially that last long right-hander. I do know a lot of other fast guys too will use like a positive camber setup. I just can never figure it out, so I like it this way. The gear ratios, again, this is what allows me, it comes off of the last infield corner really well when you come off, pulling off that right-hander to go onto the section of the oval between 1 and 2, oval 1 and 2. If you go any higher than that, it makes it a little deeper, I guess you could say, shorter gear ratio. It's easier to drive, but it's not as fast. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, let me know what you think. Let me know if this improved your time. Let me know what you want to see next. Check out some of my other videos. Again, by hitting that subscribe button, you can see all my content that I put out, whether it be for NASCAR Heat 5 or Gran Turismo, or any other racing game that I play. Hopefully some real racing coming down the pipe here too, as we get into the spring, summer, and fall months. Do some autocrossing, some stock car racing, have some real fun. But in the meanwhile, we'll keep on doing this. Again, This is How to Drive NASCAR Heat 5, the Indianapolis Road Course. I am the crazy M80, signing out.